Hey guys, FanTruckStop back here for another video. Guys, as always, we'll be reacting to the press conference of Zac Taylor. Shout out to Cincinnati Bengals YouTube page for posting this. As always, I will go ahead and put the questions of the reporters on the screen, enhance audio of the reporters so we can, really get the full picture of what is being asked and what our coach is answering to. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's get it, boys.
Watching the film, how'd you feel Cody did in his first time at left tackle?
I thought he did a good job, and again, going in there and being kind of thrown into the fire second half, thought he performed well for us.
How is Cheeto doing? Do you expect him to have a bigger role this week after the bye with that back injury?
I think he's progressing nicely. So, again, I think the bye week came at a good time for guys like Cheeto and T, Orlando even, and we'll just kind of take it day to day with these guys and see how much they can handle.
I think also it's a combination of that and also how good DJ Turner is playing, right? Because if DJ Turner wasn't playing that good and they couldn't use him in that role, you would not rush Cheeto back, but you would be a little bit less, kind of calm and collect with it, right? Because you're like, oh, yeah, like, Cheeto, take your time, but we kind of also need you right now, man. We need you out there in our defense. But DJ Turner's been able to step up, really work in, tangent with not only him, but also Jordan Battle, also, Nick Scott, and also Cam Taylor-Britt to kind of, create that kind of concrete secondary that we have right now. And again, Dax Hill, too. I don't want to forget him. But if DJ Turner wasn't able to do that, you would kind of be like, well, Cheeto, even if we had, kind of like what we did with Joe Burrow, even a 50% Cheeto would be better than a rookie DJ Turner. But because DJ Turner is so good and so productive for us, we can just put out DJ Turner out there and just have, Cheeto play limited snaps, if anything.
How much does it help Zach to have an extra day for an offense, prepare for an offense like Champions?
They're a really good football team, whatever phase you want to talk about. Every little bit helps. They've been a team that's been playing at a high level for several years now. And, I've been playing in a lot of championships, Super Bowls, and so it's a great test for us.
What dynamic did Christian McCaffrey add to their offense that was already very good with guys like Kittle?
You can just do so much with him. You don't really look at him just as a running back. You can feature him in the passing game because he's got that awareness. He's got great hands. He's got great agility to be able to work a lot of different matchups with him. They're very creative with how they can use him. They got a lot of great players they can be creative with, and they do a good job, using them to the best of their abilities. And Christian, I think, just fit in really well there after his time in Carolina. I remember for years he was one of the premier running backs at Carolina, and then they just threw him in the mix and even doing a lot more with him in San Francisco. And so he's been a good piece of that puzzle.
My problem with the 49ers game, right, is not to the point of what Coach said about their, a Super Bowl team. They've been to a Super Bowl actually twice in the last, I think, 20 years, I want to say. Correct me if I'm wrong. They went versus the Ravens, and they also went versus the Chiefs. Obviously, they lost the Chiefs game and lost the Ravens game. But that's not me dissing the 49ers. The thing about the 49ers is they match up in every possible way with what we're bad at. And that's what really sucks about playing the 49ers. It's like every problem we have, they are the best at going against it, right? So offensive line, right? Struggling with run blocking and pass blocking. What do they have? The best defensive line in the game, right? They don't have the best secondary, but they have the best defensive line. And as long as our offensive line can't handle their defensive line, we're going to have Joe Burrow sack sandwich in the backfield. We're not going to be able to run the ball if their defensive line overpowers our offensive line. Okay, so what else is our problem? Our problem really is halfbacks out of the backfield, maybe stretch plays, toss plays, that type of stuff. What do they have? Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell. Both very good, fast, elusive running backs. Obviously, we saw Derrick Henry catch a touchdown on us. That's literally what Christian McCaffrey could do within seconds. And then you have Elijah Mitchell, who you have to kind of commit to, too. Now, the good thing for us is there's no Deebo Samuel. If there was a Deebo Samuel, we would be in 10 times worse of a situation than we actually are. But the facts of the facts is they match up in every way possible. They're like literally like that, extra skin on your fingernail you can't get off, and it's so annoying. That's what they are to us right now.
Sure, Shanahan's a guy that you look at because you look at everybody around the league. What is it about Shanahan that you think makes him what he is? What is there a common strand of all the film that you see that strikes you?
I think he's creative. He does a little bit of everything, and for them it really starts off the run game and everything matches that. They got great play actions, they got great screens, they got great nakeds, really good shot plays, that can put you in a tough bind. They got really good players on top of that. So a scheme that's very difficult to deal with, and then the players that can really bring it to life along with the coaching staff. So just a really good organization from top to bottom. We certainly think a lot of those coaches they have there, they've done a really good job for a long time. And guys that you're always looking at when you're looking at scheme stuff, they always do a really good job.
Also, again, as you said, a genius head coach, and that's another thing. It's like, not only do they have a really great team player-wise, now you have to go against a great head coach that can pretty much scheme any single situation possible out of nowhere. So it's fantastic. By the way, guys, just a shout-out here. I got a spooky season shirt. Got, a skeleton kissing a guinea pig. Yeah, I don't know why. I just thought it was pretty funny to talk about.
How deep both of y'all have gone the last couple of years, all the potential Super Bowl opponents had both of y'all made it that way. Have you guys given that? Have y'all watched maybe any extra film of them over the years as you've made these postseason runs, or no?
Like watching their defense? No. I mean, they come over on the crossover tape because we're playing that division this year. In years past, maybe there's been a little bit of crossover tape watching their offense, but they haven't studied their defense outside of the times that we're playing against them. Haven't gone that far yet. It was remained to be seen when they added Steve Wilkes if that was going to change things. He was kind of outside of that coverage family, that 49ers coverage family. He's done a great job. He did a great job in Carolina last year when we played him. I know the outcome was what the outcome was, but going to that game, really had a lot of respect for how he'd gotten those guys playing and the stress that he put on the other team. And now he's done a great job going to San Francisco, and I'm sure adding his own twist on some things, but done a really good job keeping them playing at a high level.
How is Charlie Jones tracking in terms of his availability, and do you feel like when he's able to come back, he can help you guys out on offense?
We'll see. He's ineligible this week, so we'll just keep taking it one week at a time with him and see where he's at.
Is there a big revelation in that over the bye that you said you're going to go and evaluate a lot of things? Was there one big takeaway you maybe had looking over things, self-scout?
Just different areas that we can improve, tweak, continue to do better. That's what we took away from the week.
I'd ask the question of, do you think there's going to be a trade? And his answer would be, that's something that Duke Tobin and Katie Blackburn will work on, and not something that, I will be associated with right now. Like, that's what he would say. But, I'm surprised no reporter's going to throw that out him. Hey, so the trade deadline's right around the corner, and I know you guys do not do midseason trades. You've done 5 since 1972. Any chance this is going to happen? Yeah, probably not.
You had said before the bye that you were feeling pretty good about how you guys can control your own destiny. Everyone, with how things went in the division this weekend, how are you feeling just standing towards?
Sure. Everybody in the AFC is on our schedule at this point. And we just have to focus on San Francisco. I think that's the message you give to our guys is if we control what we can control, starting with San Fran and then taking it one game at a time after that, everything you want's in front of you. So you don't need to worry about what everybody else is doing. And so I think that's the simplest message that is true, especially at this early part in the season. We've only played 6 games, still got 11 left. You got to start with San Francisco. Can't look beyond that. Got to give them our best effort, and then after that, we'll keep taking it one game at a time. But that's the beauty of this league is you've got a chance to control your own destiny as long as you do things the right way.
And I said this in my video earlier, but I truly 1,000% will back that up, is that, it's so easy to look too far ahead, right? And let's be honest, going into the season, a lot of people was ready for the Chiefs game. I was like, oh yeah, we're going to play the Chiefs. Can't wait to play the Chiefs. Chiefs week 17, we're coming. But then we lose to the Browns week 1. And then we lose to the Ravens week 2, right? And then now you're like, oh, well, the Chiefs game. You can't be focused on the Chiefs game. It's got to be 1 week at a time. Whoever your next opponent is, it's a team you got to focus on. That's a team that you have to worry about. And as he said, we do. We control our own destiny moving forward. So I'm sorry to freeze frame this on his face looking like this, but it is what it is.
Or evaluating during the bye, looking at the running back room, I know you're probably liked what you saw from Joe Mixon, but do you think the other guys in that room might need more touches? Is that something that
I think that's all part of the conversation is how do we utilize everybody on our offense the best way to help our offense continue to move forward? And so whether that's running backs, tight ends, receivers, whoever that needs to be, we just got to make sure we're using everybody the right way.
Is there anything you can glean off the broadcast copy tonight watching San Francisco as opposed to the All-22?
I think there are things that we watch those anyway, whether that game was tonight or not. Usually just go through. They talk about players and things that, when you're watching film, it's radio silence. You're not hearing anything. So there's some things you might watch a whole broadcast and nothing. You don't get anything. Sometimes there might be a piece or two that you get that can help you a little bit. You don't read too much into it, but it'll certainly be on in the background and you'll be observing kind of how the game goes.
Does the 49ers defensive scheme remind you of any other that you're prepared for? Is it pretty unique?
No, I would say it's you've played other teams that maybe play some of these coverages and fronts, and they're just really good at it. They're really good, from top to bottom. The personnel that they have, they put them in the right places. Those guys certainly bring it to life. They're high-end players at all levels of the defense. I don't even want to name them because I'm going to leave somebody off, and they're all they all play up to their potential. And so I think that's one thing you see is all 11 playing together, totally in sync, great communication, play hard, play physical. They're really intelligent. They get quickly to their checks. They do a good job diagnosing what the offense is doing. And so, again, it's a really impressive defense to watch on tape.
how big would it be to have Orlando available for a matchup in a game that includes Kyle?
I like having our best players play, so that's always helpful.
Last couple of years, I know you don't want to look back, but you come off by and had really big wins. Vegas, Pittsburgh, 2 of your better wins, turning points kind of. Is there a common theme in the way you guys have handled that, or maybe there's been focus coming out of those that you feel like you apply right now or feel similar, or is it so separate that you can't really pull from those?
It does feel separate. Like I don't look back at those two games necessarily. I couldn't even told you, to be honest with you, who we played last year coming out of the bye. If you just asked me without me. This week I kind of went back up through some stuff, but before then I wouldn't have been able to tell you. But again, I always talk about this. I think it's the character of our team. They get a week off. They handle it the right way. They do the right things. They take care of their bodies. They mentally refresh, knowing that we got a gauntlet here of 11 games going down the stretch. And so those guys come out of it fresh, ready to roll. Thankful that they're in it and they get to keep playing good football. And so I think it speaks more to the character of our team, how they've responded coming out of buys than anything that maybe we have them doing.
Is every team every year different, Zach? Obviously, there are core principles that you like to follow when you're leading a team. But is this team maybe in need of different managing at this point of the season?
Different managing, I wouldn't say that. I would say every team's slightly different. Could I put my finger on exactly what those differences are and articulate them? No, but I think you again handle the team just as it evolves as the season goes. And so again, I don't make a declaration in training camp of how we're going to handle this team throughout the season at different junctures of it. I think you just have to be ready to evolve. And so again, some things I couldn't even articulate because they just naturally happen because they feel right in the moment. And that's just how we'll continue to handle this team.
And that's actually where they cut it off here. But I will say my final thoughts and closing thoughts about this is, yeah, it's going to be a statement game, right? And I think majority of people, Bengals fans included, I think right now, the consensus is we're going to lose this game, right? And it's okay. I mean, if we lose this game, it sucks, but it is what it is. That's going to be a tough game versus a very, very good opponent. We look at Cleveland beat this team, but that really was anatomy. A lot of it was the refs helping out Cleveland, and then when the refs didn't help out Cleveland, their moody kicker missed the kick. So it really didn't help out for that. But other than that, this team is really unstoppable in every front possible. And yes, we're going to play them as a weaker, version because they're, obviously not having certain players. But at the same time, they're still like an unstoppable force. So if we can get this W this week, it's going to be a, statement win. It's going to be a statement to the rest of the AFC North, the rest of the AFC that, we're still here. We're not going nowhere. And even if we lose, I think as long as we go out there, and this is one of those things I said when we played Baltimore in week 2, I was like, at the end of the day, as long as we don't get blown out, we're okay. If we go out there and it's final score is 24-23 and we lose by 1 point, I'm okay with that. As long as we see something from our offense this week, even if it's 14, 17 points, but at least let's say if it's like 7 or 8 drives where we have long, good drives getting down the field, even if every single one is a field goal because their defense is that good, but we have those 7 or 8 drives versus their defense, that's all I need to see. That's all I need to see this week. Just show me this offense can get going. Show me this defense can continue playing this bend, don't break defense. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys next one.